How's it going, people, and welcome to my Guardians of the Galaxy 4K Ultra HD review. And if you didn't check out my movie review for Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie itself, you can check that out right up here. I reviewed that last week for you guys. And if you like that video and if you like this video, make sure you subscribe right down here because I do this all the time. So, getting into the 4K copy here. This was actually given a 2K digital intermediate, so this is actually upscaled to 4K. And this movie really has the potential to look great in 4K. And that is just because of the fact that when you think about Marvel films, this is one of the ones that just has the brightest colors, neons, and it just really kind of goes for that aesthetic. And it would really translate well to 4K. We'll talk about it, but I don't feel like they actually capitalize on that too well. Detail and clarity is not that bad at all. It just kind of isn't the greatest bump up. When it comes to detail, close-ups is where you're going to notice it the most, especially in CGI creatures like Rocket and Groot. When it comes to Rocket, you can definitely see all of his individual whiskers and all of that. That is very well done. And when it comes to Groot, you can see the grooves in the CGI that they have created for his trunk. And you know what? Gamora, when it comes to close-ups, definitely has a lot of detail there. But when it comes to detail in backgrounds and a lot of the environment here, I just wanted a little more, and they kind of didn't give it to you. It's not a step down from the Blu-ray, it's just not that much of a bump up. And as far as clarity goes, it is very well done with some softer shots. You can definitely tell in some wide shots that it's kind of soft, and it stands out because the rest is pretty damn sharp. And when it comes to HDR here, you know, you would want this to be a standout with all the neon and everything that I just talked about. What I will say is it only really stands out from time to time. They don't use it to its full potential. I will say that when you have a lot of explosions towards the ends of the film, then a lot of the explosions really pop off of the screen. And whenever you have the purple neon colors, that really gives you a pop off the screen. They're really accentuated, and that is excellent. But when it comes to just really eye-blasting looks that you would want from this movie, I don't really feel like it delivers on that. And again, it's not like this looks bad as far as HDR goes. It's just not that much of a bump up. And this is going to be something for the hardcore fans that just have to have this in 4K. And for that, I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. There is a noticeable bump up here, but you really do have to look for it. And getting into the audio quality here, this was actually given a Dolby Atmos mix, and what I will say here is it is just like the video quality. It is the typical Atmos, which means that you do have to turn this up about 3 decibels, and you will get an enjoyable level. What I will say is that bass response is good here without being great. And I just wanted it to be a little bit more punchy. And for that, I would have to turn this up just even a little more. And when you're getting into the height effects, the height effects are pretty well done here. I did notice quite a few moments, actually, when you're talking about the breakout scene from the prison and you have all the drones flying over your head. A lot of the end battle when it came to the space, all the space battles that happen in that end climax, those have really great height speaker work. And when it comes to speaker separation, that is also top notch. It is a little front heavy from time to time. Surrounds are a little on the weak side, but that is just me being picky. I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's just not what I would particularly want from this mix, and I don't really feel like it's that much of a bump up from the mix on the regular Blu-ray, to be quite honest with you, and that can be a problem. So, getting into the digital copy here, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download this on iTunes and on Vudu, along with other streaming services, and get the 4K version. And as far as special features here goes, all of them are on the Blu-ray version. That includes the audio commentary. They couldn't even port that over. That is with James Gunn. It's a pretty good one, and it's just a shame that it's not on the 4K disc. But anyway. Then you have a short making of featurette with James Gunn going into the making of the movie, and then a separate one that goes into the visual style. You have a intro or a quick look at Age of Ultron, some deleted scenes, gag reels, theatrical trailers. This is very standard, and it actually none of them are on the 4K disc. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. This is just real standard material that they didn't really have to try that hard for, to be quite honest with you. And as for my last looks at Guardians of the Galaxy, this movie is one that I had to kind of sit with and learn to appreciate it for what it was. This movie isn't deep. This movie really lacks character. Even in Marvel films, which sometimes gets so jokey that they put aside characters. This one really, really does that. But it also has a joke ratio that almost always hits. This movie is very funny. The action is great, and the look of the film and the overall world building is fantastic. And for that, I did give Guardians of the Galaxy a 7 out of 10 in my movie review. And when you add up all my scores for Guardians of the Galaxy in 4K Ultra HD, you come out to a 26 out of 40. That's about fair. You know, that is a score that I would give to somebody that just absolutely needs to get this and doesn't really care if it isn't the biggest step up. And you know what? That is exactly what this is. And it is a shame because this could have been something greater easily, but it is what it is. So, coming up next in the channel, I do have to get into Ant-Man, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. All of them are in 4K. And then I have some horror picks for you guys. Wondering what it'll be? Well, you're going to have to subscribe, and I'm going to actually surprise you guys with what that will be. So, I thank all of you for watching. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.